Good evening, friends. It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Those of you watching, check this out. I'm actually holding the phone in my other hand. I'm left-handed, so I usually hold it with my left hand. Then I'm holding the phone in the right hand, and I'm looking the opposite direction into the camera lens, which is very odd. It's an odd feeling, and it's actually a good exercise to work the other side of my brain, right? So interestingly enough, I can segue that into tonight's topic. Look, in order to find yourself, you have to lose yourself, right? You have to lose yourself in order to find yourself. And, it's funny, like when I think about holding the phone with my left hand all the time, then switching it up and doing something new, like holding the phone, as simple as that, with my other hand, I'm losing what has been comfortable for me. I'm losing what has been familiar, and I'm stepping into something new. And from that place, I get to see things from a different perspective, right? So let's dive deeper into the backstory of this. I actually watched a movie tonight. It was a documentary on Netflix about Jim Carrey doing the role of Andy Kaufman. And Jim Carrey, I don't know if you followed him at all lately, but he's very ethereal and he's in this very sagey place in life, which is cool. I get it. I can't say that I was where he is at a couple years ago, but a couple years ago, I had already moved out of running a company, and I was doing coaching. I went from working really hard. My pendulum swung the other way to where I didn't want to work at all. So I was doing coaching to pay for bills, but spending a lot of time in spiritually searching. And as I was doing that, there are layers and layers and layers of losing yourself, right? So I started, how it happened for me was, I just started to see simple things like old goals that didn't fit anymore. I'm like, that's not interesting to me anymore. I'm not interested in that. And then old ideologies falling away. Like, I'm not sure that really fits me anymore. And then as I kept stripping away things that represent identity, right? So goals, ideologies. I'm trying to think what else would fall into that category. I mean, that covers a lot, doesn't it? I started to get farther and farther away from motivation, because I think a lot of times motivation can come from a particular identity. And I just started to float. Not literally. I wasn't like Chris Angel Mind Freak levitating. But I was in this space where I wasn't attached to anything, right? And I wouldn't say I'm there now. I think I've latched on to some new identity and I have some new purpose. And part of that's because I think I've found myself, or at least I would say I've found what I want. I've found the story I want to live in. Right? I've chosen it. A lot of times in life, we grow up and we go through life and we don't actually choose intentionally the stories we live out of. We live the stories we've accepted or we've been given or we fell into. And many, many people in marketing and business they're trying to market from the ideologies and the goals and the identities and stories they fell into, that they were given, that just happened to them by living life. And so there are a lot of people who are hungry for purpose. They are hungry for authenticity. They're hungry for marketing that feels real. And you see this, I've said this before, but you see this with things like Simon Sinek's talk about Start With Why, right? The Golden Circle in his book, Start With Why. And why was that such a big hit? Because there's something in us that is really drawn to purpose, to understand what our why is. But the problem is you can't access the why inside of your existing stories, goals, identities, etc. You have to lose yourself in order to find yourself. You have to lose yourself and separate from all of the story and the drama attached to that story and the cultural agreements and the expectations and all the stuff. You have to separate from all of that in order to find your certainty, find your purpose. There is no certainty in someone else's story for you. You will never feel certain inside the story that was given to you. You will never feel certain inside the story that you fell into. Your soul will keep trying to wake you up and say, nope, this isn't it. Nope, this isn't it. And so you'll keep wandering and wandering, hoping and trying until you lose yourself. If you stay in your old story and you try to find purpose, you'll keep trying on new things, and it won't feel right. It won't satisfy your soul. And so it'll always feel hollow or empty. It's only in losing yourself that you can find yourself. And what I'm suggesting to you is, by the way, not only that this is what you've been looking for, is your own certainty through the process of finding yourself, but also this is what the people you're seeking to serve are searching for. And they also may be in their old goals and identities, but they're looking for something that feels certain. They're looking for purpose. They're looking for truth. And they may not know how to describe it, but they know it when they feel it. So when they interact with your marketing, but your marketing has been created from your old paradigm, your old identity, their experience of it is, nope, this isn't it. They can't explain to you why. They just can feel that it's not right. And so, one, for you to feel on purpose, for you to feel certain, for you to feel in your skin and in your soul about what you're doing and where you're going and what your message is for the world, you have to lose yourself to find yourself. And two, if you want to have marketing that actually makes an impact, that doesn't just sell something or manipulate someone, then you have to lose yourself to find yourself so that your marketing to the world comes through. Because the world can tell when it's not you. The world can tell if it's not for them. And what is for them is something that is true. But you can't get to that truth unless you lose yourself. So, that is a big process. Okay, that is a big process. It doesn't happen overnight. It sure didn't for me. I'm still in places of, like I said, there are layers, people. There are layers. I am not in this season of life where Jim Carrey is, right? I am not in the ether and sagey. I am, right? I'm not at the spot where it's everything, nothing. And I've been there. That's a weird place to be, where life is everything and nothing, right? Where I am God and I'm not God, where everything is light and dark. I've been to that spot in a season of life, and things get really crazy because it's hard to orient yourself when you're that far into consciousness, when you're that far past this tangible matrix we live in. It's very hard to orient and ground yourself. And like I said, I've moved now into an identity, a story I've chosen. I found the purpose and the story I want to live from, and that's what I'm living from. So it's helped me to pick a place to live from. But it is a process, and there are layers and layers. And so I'm not done on my journey of finding myself. But in this season, I've found what I'm here to do and what I want to give my life to. The question for you is, have you found that? Have you lost yourself already and found the new you that you want to live from, that you chose? You chose it. And if you have, has that translated into your marketing? Because that is the kind of marketing that not only makes a difference for you, but actually makes the impact for others. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. If you want to start down the path of honing your marketing message from a place that gets at the root of your soul, that gets at what you're really here to do, I have a 6-week program designed for that. It's called the Groundswell Method Intensive. It's 6 weeks, 2 hours of training a week with me, plus 2 one-on-one sessions over those 6 weeks with me and you. Plus, you go through it with 25 other people. If that's interesting to you and you'd like to apply for that program, the place to start is with my free course. You can go to groundswellmethod.com. You can complete that course in just over an hour. Okay? And on the last page of that course is an application. You just fill out the application, and that sends it straight to me. I review it, and then send you the news of whether it's a fit or not, okay? So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Here's to you losing yourself to find yourself.